Okay, so first and foremost, right, whenever I am sharing with people on opportunities, okay, or anything, maybe this business, right? So when we talk about, for example, number one will be on the trend, right? What is the current trend like? Is it just a hype? Maybe back in the days, right, during NFT, right, was it just a hype? Is it a sustainable trend? Is it something that is just short term, mid term, or long term, right? Is it something that align with what the general populace wants to achieve? Okay, so the latest trend. And third will be on the product, right? Is the product a digital product or maybe a physical product, right? Is it something that maybe you have had and you have gained great value out of? Okay, maybe it's a health product, right? Health product, you ate it and you felt great right after that. Maybe your health recovered. So what is it? Does it align with what you want to do? What you want to be maybe potentially introducing to other people? And number four, right, is there a possible compensation plan, right? Is there a reward system or affiliate program being tied to this entire maybe product or ecosystem or company, right? Is there something that you can, right, maybe earn a buck or two out of? And whether the compensation plan is something sustainable, is something scalable, right, for you. And last but not least, right, is there a educational system involved, right? Is there potentially someone that's able to guide you through, maybe it's a new ecosystem, it's a new company, new concept, right? Whether there's someone to, right, bring more value to you with regards to education. Okay, so in fact, when I'm always sharing, right, actually, right, whatever we are doing over here, it checks all five of the boxes for me, right, for me. But for you, right, of course, after understanding what I'll be going through today, right, it's up to you whether it ticks all five of your boxes. Okay, so today let's jump right straight to our founder, right? Our founder is a very prominent figure, right, especially in the tech space. So he's Mr. Johnson Zhao. You can in fact Google about him, right? He is the proud founder of CoinStore, and not just that, but he have also set up blockchain as well as Cary Pact. Okay, so he is the founder of CoinStore first and foremost, right? It is a centralized cryptocurrency exchange, right? Very similar to Binance. And he has been building this company for more than almost 7 years now, almost 7 years. So he has managed to be, right, um, at some point, right, at one point of time, it was top 15 on CoinMarketCap and top 7 on CoinGecko, right? So definitely that is a pretty impressive result, right, in this competitive space. Okay, so he himself, right, he is someone I got to know of who is very, very disciplined, right? This is actually a common trait amongst successful people, businessmen. They are absolutely, right, very disciplined, um, not just their expectation of other people, but they are very disciplined themselves. Okay, so this kind of sets a culture for the entire workforce on the communities as well. Okay, for the leaders especially. Okay, so he himself, he has been to, right, he has been living in the US for a couple of years, right? He has been exploring into Wall Street. And yes, he has been living more than 8 years in Singapore, more in Singapore. Okay, because the HQ of CoinStore was actually in Singapore, it is still in Singapore. And a lot of all these different operations, they are also taking place in Singapore. That's where I'm from, right? So he is even the author of 14 books. I would say this is very impressive, right? He is someone who he loves to read, right? He loves to read. So he's very knowledgeable in this sense. And I would say a lot of people actually wanted to work alongside him or work with him, right? Knowing that he's the founder of these three, or I say specifically blockchain and CaryPact, right? When he got founded, right? A lot of people actually look for him and they want to partner up with him, right? So yes, you can see from his more than a decade of experience, right, in not just tech, but also in terms of cryptocurrency and blockchain, right, he's definitely created a lot of value, right, throughout this time. Okay, so his exchange coin store, yes, you can feel free to download it on App Store or Play Store, right? So in fact, right, he has garnered over 12 million users worldwide, right, across 180 countries and regions. And of course, they have 12 different financial licenses, right, which spread across jurisdictions like Dubai, Switzerland, Australia, and Canada. Okay, so why am I sharing all this? Because there is a strong correlation between coin store and blockchain. Okay, and blockchain. And also with CaryPact. Okay, so what is blockchain? What is CaryPact? Okay, blockchain essentially is a layer one public chain. It's a foundational layer. So that other projects they are able to build on top of. Okay, like for example, Ethereum, like for example, Binance Smart Chain, or we have chains like Solana chain, right? All these are layer one blockchains. Okay, but before we go into blockchain, okay, what is blockchain? Okay, maybe just let me share a bit more about what the potential of blockchain can be, or how it actually got founded, okay, why it was created in the first place, right? So blockchain was actually created because, right, there was actually a huge group of community or huge group of people, they wanted to bypass the banking infrastructure or the centralized institutions. Okay, so a lot of times, right, these centralized institutions actually fail us. So through time, right, there were a lot of trust that was lost. Okay, so essentially this technology was being created because, right, it's decentralized, number one. Number two, right, it acts like a digital ledger, whereby all the transactional records will be embedded on the blockchain. So even after years, right, as long you maybe have the transaction hash or the transaction in general, you're able to check back and all the information are public knowledge. So we always say, right, decentralization builds transparency, transparency builds back trust amongst everyone. Okay, so essentially that's what blockchain in general is. And today, right, we are trying to revolutionize, or we are in the process of revolutionizing the blockchain sector as a whole. Okay, so I'll share a few more in detail later on. Okay, so with regards to CaryPact, it was actually the very first project or protocol that was built on blockchain. Okay, so later on we'll be covering, of course, the unique advantages of blockchain, right, compared to other public chains, and how we are continuously expanding on our global consensus, right, in terms of global. Okay, we are in fact global community, and how you are able to leverage on our economic structure, right, potentially to help you, right, grow your portfolio. Okay, so if you ask me, right, 3 months, 4 months ago, right, whether there are any other projects on blockchain, I would tell you, right, very simply, no. Okay, there was only CaryPact. Okay, so we have come a long way, and right within the past 2 months, we have managed to onboard more than 160 projects. Right, they are currently live on blockchain, and more than 100 more, I really want 140 more in the process of incubation, right, in the process to be on our mainnet. Okay, so within the pipeline, right, in total, we will have around more than 700 projects. Okay, and we are actually, right, well ahead of time, right, with regards to our projections. Okay, so what's our projection? Our projection is to have around 1,000 to 2,000 projects that are built on blockchain by end of this year. Okay, end of this year. And by end of next year, we're targeting to have around 10,000. And by the end of 2030, right, we would like to have around 30,000 projects or so. Okay, so what does this create? Okay, so just maybe give you a brief idea. What is the primary revenue of a blockchain? What's the primary revenue? Right, it is actually on gas fees. Okay, gas fees in fact is like transaction fees. Okay, when we have different communities of different projects, right, when they are transacting, okay, since they are transacting through blockchain or on blockchain, right, there will be gas fees being generated. Okay, so all these gas fees are given or earned by blockchain itself. Okay, that is the primary source of revenue. So when we have more projects, meaning we will have more gas fees, right, in general. So what do we want to achieve, right, in the long term, right? We actually put ourselves, right, we want to put ourselves, or position ourselves, right, in the trajectory to be the top 5 or even top 3 blockchains in the world, right, globally. We are not just talking about Asia, not just talking about Europe, but we are aiming for the skies. Okay, we want to be the top 5 or 3 in the world. And what will help with that, right? Of course, right, usually we will look at TPS, transaction per second, as well as our daily active users. Okay. Also, right, last but not least, on other transaction volumes. Okay, so these three are important statistics, right, to show the world that we are up there. Okay, so in fact, this will be what we will constantly be building on. Okay, so this is a summary report that we have, right? Almost 170 projects on our mainnet, and the deployment, right, more than 150. So as you can see, right, all in all, we have around 757 projects potentially, right, in the very short time, Now we are not even 2 months in terms of onboarding. Okay, so we have also managed to raise a seed fund of $15 million with the help of 3 different venture capital firms. Okay, first it is Next Foundation, right? They are Sweden-based national level, right? A large foundation VC, okay, venture capital firm, whereby they are very actively investing in technological firms. Right, so you can do a Google search over them. They have been investing quite a bit in up and rising tech companies. And next we have Alpha Capital. Okay, Alpha Capital is a leading venture capital firm from Turkey, and they've invested 3 million. And last but not least, we have Gemmit Capital, who have invested 2 million. Okay, Gemmit Capital, they are one of the one of the core investment institute of Finance Alpha. Okay, so we can see they are, right, not just any company, they are pretty well known in their own respective rights. Okay, so all in all, we have raised $15 million in seed round funding. And also, CoinStore, as what we mentioned just now, okay, CoinStore founded by Mr. Johnson, okay, they have also invested $35 million, right, into blockchain. Right, so these two sums up to be $50 million. And this will be put in good use, right? This will be used to support up and coming projects, right, who are interested to incubate their projects on blockchain. They're able to apply for this funding. So generally, right, one project or each project, they're able to apply, let's just say from 20,000 onwards, and it can go up to 1 million. But of course, it's not given one time, it's given by stages, right, by performance. So the more well-performing they are, right, the more budget they're able to get. Okay, so this is one part of it. And the other part that is, because we are our very own public chain, we do have our very own native token as well. Okay, our native token, right, is called BOT. Okay, BOT coin, BOT token, right, that is our native currency, right, that primarily all these different ecosystems, different community members, they are transacting and they need BOT as a form of gas fee. Okay, very similar to Binance Smart Chain, right? Okay, so with the token itself, right, we are looking to list it, right, at some of the top exchanges in the world, like for example, OKX, Bybit, KuCoin, MEXC. So all this, in fact, we do a search on CoinMarketCap. They are in fact the top 20, top 10 in the world. Okay, so listings definitely take time, right? Each exchange, they have their very own requirement, right? So we are constantly in talks with them to see how we can list and which exchanges to list on first. So by having more and more projects coming on board, by listing our tokens on more exchanges, all this will definitely bring the prices of BOT upwards. Okay, so this is an article, right, that is on Binance Square. So Binance Square, this is from a verified Binance official account. As you can see, right, there is an article also in stating that, right, the seed funding from 3 different venture capital firms. And also, we have a security audit being done by CertiK. Okay, so in fact, CertiK is a tier 1 auditing firm. Okay, tier 1. To be audited by them, it will take at the very least, $100,000 and above. Okay, so with their audits, right, that really puts us in terms of credibility, right? That really gives the project owners and as well as the community members more confidence, right, in what we are doing. Okay, so yes, if you like to search or read more about the reports, you can always visit the skynet.certic.com. This is their website. Okay, and you can see the credit rating that they have given us. So of course, we're not perfect. We are new blockchain in the, so I say we are new kid in the block, right? We're new kid in the block. So we will improve definitely as and when we go, as and when we progress. So feel free to access their website to have a look. And also, simply, you can also download the full audit report, right, on our blockchain website. I believe it's over 30 pages, okay, as well as a white paper. So feel free, you can always go there to have a look and download it. Okay, so yes, this is the very first listing that we have for Botcoin, which was done on CoinStore, right, on the 17th of July, right, just last month. Actually, just a month ago, almost a month. Okay, tomorrow will be our anniversary. Okay, yes. So yes, it's currently on CoinStore, and you can, of course, register for an account on CoinStore to trade. And yes, very recently, I believe a week ago, we have also listed bots on CoinGecko. CoinGecko. So this is a wonderful listing. Definitely showcase the kind of um, capability that we have at the moment, because, right, from what I understand, right, blockchain has injected $95 million locked in for a full year just for CoinGecko on this listing, right? So we are not here to play, we are here to take over. Okay, so this is in fact a very powerful listing that we have done very, very recently. So many more to come, right? So in terms of infrastructure, yes. So amongst, or should I say, surrounding our blockchain itself, or on our blockchain itself, right, we have 5 different products, okay, that was already built. They are already live, right, since the month of March, all of them. Okay, of course, the first one will be the mainnet, okay, the main network of blockchain, okay, which is the foundational layer. And number two will be our Explorer. Okay, Explorer is like your Binance Scan. So over here we call it bot scan. Okay, bot scan. So bot scan is the website or the interface whereby you're able to input all the transaction hash or the wallet addresses, and you're able to see the records, right? Everything's right able to, when we talk about transparency, right? Everything you're able to search on, right? Our liquidity pools, our treasuries, so all the amounts you're able to verify, right? That's what we talk about, transparency. Okay, so everyone will be sharing the same exact information. Okay, so number three, we have our very own bridge. So in fact, this bridge is very necessary, right, to help bridge assets to and fro blockchain and other blockchains. Like for example, Binance Smart Chain or Ethereum chain, that will be the two most compatible blockchains as of now, right? But in the future, right, I believe the team will be adding more and more blockchains on the bridge, right? And next up, we have our very own Bo wallet. Okay, Bo wallet is a decentralized wallet, very similar to like your Trust, the token pocket that we use, and MetaMask. Okay, all these are decentralized wallets. So you can just register for an account and you can link it to the CaryPact, the app. Okay, last but not least, we have a BDEX. Okay, BDEX is a decentralized exchange. Okay, very similar to Uniswap. Okay, in fact, right, when we open up our staking options or staking pool for BOT, right, definitely, right, this will be put into very good use. Right, so I believe a lot of all this staking or swapping amongst different tokens with BOT, with USDT, right, all will happen on BDEX. Okay, so we have also launched our very own mining machine, right? Those of you who are familiar with Bitcoin, right? How did Bitcoin get started? How did people get to earn rewards on a daily basis? Yeah, it is through this POW, right? Proof of work concept. Okay, meaning there's a physical infrastructure. In this case, is the bot mining machine. And this, in fact, acts like your computer's CPU. Okay, it's like a processing unit. So this, right, they will be in charge of solving equations or solving problems on the blockchain. And when the problems is solved, right, you will receive the rewards. And this, right, you of course you are able to receive passively. Okay, this is a very good way for you to earn passive rewards in bots, right? That is our native token of the blockchain. Okay, so definitely the potential is huge. So as what I've explained just now, right, as and when we have more projects, we have even our burning will be part of the right, burning into the black hole of our supplies, and as well as token listing. All this will drive the price of bot up. So as of now, the price of bot is very, very low. okay, which is a good thing, right? Very, very low. It's around $9.26 or so. So the chances of it going to 5 times, 10 times, or even 100 times, right, is definitely there. Okay, so if you do a comparison with Ethereum chain, right, Ethereum, right, of course, they've been running for many years, but at one point of time, right, there was a 16,000 times in terms of returns, right? If you are initial adopter, if you are initial miner, or if you dollar cost average your way up, right, definitely you have, right, you'll be able to reap the highest rewards. Okay, so the entire logic of mining, right, is of course on token accumulation. Right, how many tokens can you accumulate by end of 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, or for our emission process or emission period of 25 years? Right, out of the 150 million in total supply, how much token will you be able to accumulate? Right, so the entire idea, right, of course, is to own at least one mining machine so that you can earn, right, start earning passively. And the emission will actually start on the 21st of this month, right? Imagine this, the emission has not even started yet, right? 5 more days to go, right? And the emission will start. So you are able to earn passive income starting 21st of August, right? So all the 150 million in total supply, okay, every day there will be an emission of 20,000 watts. Okay, every single day there will be an emission of 20,000 watts, and it will be split into two portions. Okay, 75%, which is 15,000, will be issued to the miners. So if you have purchased a mining machine, congratulations in advance, right? You'll be having a market share of the 15,000 watts. And of course, if you are a builder, right, if you are a community builder, right, you will also stand the chance to earn out of the 5,000, right, which is the remaining 25%, right, that is issued to active builders, right? So just give you an idea of potentially how much you're able to accumulate over time. Okay, this is just an illustration. This is just an illustration. So if you look at the bottom left, okay, of this picture itself, of this image, okay, so let's just say, for example, okay, out of the, I'm just talking about the miners, the mining machine. Okay, so this is based on 15,000 per day. Okay, so hypothetically, if during the 21st of August, if there was 3,000 machines, okay, for example, if there were 3,000 machines that came online, so all these 3,000 machines, they will share amongst the 15,000, right? So this will in fact give each mining machine around 5 watts a day. 5 watts a day. So based on the current price, $9.20 or so, right, you'll potentially be able to earn around $46 worth of bots every single day. Okay, every single day. So if you were to be able to accumulate for the entire year, right, entire year. So let's just say example, you're able to accumulate, okay, 1,800 tokens. And if the price of bots by end of the full year, only 3 times, okay, very conservative, only 3 times growth, okay, you are able to have a revenue of $50,000 and above. $50,000 just from the one mining machine. Okay, if you have 10, now this is $500,000. Okay, so definitely the potential is there. And we're just talking about 3 times. What if the value 10 times grows 10 times? That's 160,000, almost $170,000. Okay, for one mining machine. So definitely the room for growth is there. Okay, the scalability is there. And the potential, right? You can just own it and it will produce bot token every single day. Okay, so let's look at the pricing. Okay, so we have a retail price per unit is at $3,980. But we also have different packages, right? If you were to buy at 18 servers, right? If you are sharing with a group, if you are sharing with maybe yourself or mining farm, right? That's also fine, right? You're able to purchase in the bundle of 18, right? Of course, at a slightly discounted rate per mining machine. And also you're even able to purchase in bulk of 90, right? Of course, you'll be able to enjoy even more discounts. Okay, not just that, but you are even able to pay, right, in terms of USDT, or you can pay with 100% in CA. right? CA will be the native token of our Cary Pact. Okay, you are able to pay with CA, and potentially, right, when you pay with CA, you are able to save the slippage fee. The slippage fee is like a transactional fee or withdrawal fee. Okay, so not just that, but future batches. Okay, now we are only almost launching our first batch or going live. Okay, second, third batches of sale, right? Potentially, you may even able to be receiving 3 to 10% discounts, right? If you were to pay with CA. So this is a very good thing because there's more utility for CA, and people will start buying CA, right? That will increase the utility and the usage. So the prices of CA will also have a chance to go up. Okay, so currently we are running a promotion. Who loves promotion? And maybe you can type one in the chat. Okay, who loves promotion? You can always type one in the chat, Zoom chat. There's a question. How to participate as miner? What specs is required for mining machine? Okay, so this is a very good question, right? In fact, you can even buy it from your back end. Okay, so you can create a free account. You can fund it. You can fund your account and you can purchase the mining machine. So there is a tab that shows mining machine. You can always click within it, and you'll be able to see that currently there is a discount of 20% across the board. 20%. So this, in fact, is a very, very good deal, right? Not just that you are able to have a discounted rate of 20%, but for this first batch of mining machine, right, you receive 30% additional hash rate. 30% more. That puts you way ahead of the future batches of mining machine owners, right? So let's just say the base hash, base hash rate of one mining machine is at 1,000. Okay, for you receiving 30% extra, that will be 1,300 hash rate, right? So you will be starting way ahead of the rest. Okay, so with regards to technology-wise, right, what our blockchain wants to achieve, or what our blockchain is capable of, is that we are actually combining blockchain with AI. Okay, these are, of course, the two trends that will be ongoing, whether we like it or not. Okay, so these two are, in fact, we put them together, and on our blockchain, right, it supports, right, things like AI agents, right, native AI agents, or AI native technology itself. Okay, whereby AI agents are essentially like a digital assistant. Okay, so they are able to work for you. So if let's just say you program it to perform a certain task or certain amount of tasks, it will run 24/7 for you, right? So this will in fact be very helpful for project owners that have built their project on blockchain. For example, RWA projects, right, real asset projects, right? They're able to utilize, right, our AI agents, right, and increase the productivity of their entire ecosystem. So that's why you can see, right, a lot of all these different companies, ecosystems, right? In fact, a lot of them, they will not need too many human workers, right, in the future. So you can see unemployment rate would definitely go up, definitely, because this is actually the current trend and growing exponentially, right, in terms of AI agents. And we're also working on our very own AI launchpad. Okay, in fact, this is not fully functional yet. So we will be sharing with all of you more information in due time. Okay, so we have managed to expand, right, in a very short term of time, or short span of time of over around 5 months or so, right, over 60 countries and regions, right? So as I said, it's a really long time coming. And right, in terms of member base, we have grown to around 450,000 unique members, right? More than about 1.3 million wallets, okay, currently registered on blockchain, okay, which is of course a very great start for us. Okay, so in terms of these major languages, okay, so we have a system, we have a M1000 mentorship program, right, whereby we are conducting through the academy, and this, in fact, right, we are always searching for potential people to join us, okay, so that you're able to support the global community as a whole, right? If you speak fluent Spanish, speak fluent, maybe Hindi, right? You're always able to be welcome, right, to attend our boot camps or our training classes. So through these sessions, right, we will be picking out, okay, those who align with our vision and mission, right, to come on board, right, and potentially, right, you're able to support your community even better as well. Okay, so now the main focus of CaryPact or blockchain, right? We are looking to expand, or we are already expanding quite rapidly in India. Okay, most of the Asian countries, they are pretty mature for now. And now we are putting a lot of resources, especially in terms of education, right, for India markets and countries surrounding India. Okay, like Pakistan, like Bangladesh, so on and so forth. And also, right, in terms of countries from Europe, right, that is also for sure, right, we have a very strong up and coming communities from Europe and Latin America. So you see, in fact, we are doing a global business. We are building a global network. Okay, officers wise, right, we have more than 1,800 officers worldwide. Okay, and you can see, right, most of the officers are from China. Okay, because this, right, every community, every different regions, they have their own culture, right, of building network. So in fact, for China wise, there are more than 1,000 officers, and of course, all these are managed by their local leaders. Okay, so all the other officers, they are spread across other countries and regions, right? Or more and more leaders, they are looking to open up their very own local office, right, to house their own committee members. Okay, but from the company's point of view, right, the company currently has two offices. One is in Thailand, Bangkok, and the next one, right, newly opened last month, is currently in Hong Kong. Okay, Hong Kong. So the Hong Kong office now has been used mostly for the boot camps, okay, training sessions, okay, to house most of the members from China, like Taiwan, Hong Kong, Japan, as well as Korea. Right, next month, on the 1st of September, right, we will be opening up our brand new office in Dubai. Okay, so for members or maybe new people who have just joined us today, right, if you're from around the UAE region or Europe, right, definitely Dubai is a very, very good spot for training sessions, training boot camps. Okay, so you'll be opening up very, very soon. And soon after, right, we'll probably be opening up an office in Brazil as well. Okay, Brazil, that will be mostly catering for the Latin American market. Right, so in the month of March, right, end of March, we have held our very first global summit. Okay, so whereby we have flown over more than 4,000 participants, right, from many different countries and regions. In fact, over 45 of them. And they were flown over by the company's budget, right? So it was a very, very successful event, I would say. The tipping point, one of the main tipping points was after this global summit, right? A lot of different committees, they had even more confidence with what we are doing over here. Okay, therefore it built a lot of momentum, right? Moving forward up to the second global summit, right? It was a very good build-up. And this was held in the month of June, right? Actually on the 28th, right? And this time, right, it was even of a bigger scale, right? And we have more different parties that managed to join us. So for example, more than 5,000 participants from over 55 countries and regions. And this time round, right, it was a bit different because this time we have more than 100 projects that were already incubated on blockchain. Okay. And interestingly, we have also managed to invite VVIP people, right, especially the top left hand side, the gentleman over there, right, he was the ex-Prime Minister of Thailand. And also to his right, he is the General of the Thai Royal Army. Okay, so in the middle, top middle, he is our CTO of the blockchain. Okay, he's the CTO of blockchain. And towards the top right-hand side, right, she is a powerhouse. Of course, she is very well respected across. She's the dean of our academy, right, Miss Joanne Peptio, or in short, she's my boss. Yes. So this is very interesting. We have also invited around 10 projects, 10 project teams, right? Their representatives, they had the chance to set up a booth outside the event hall, and as well as they were given the chance and opportunity to be on stage, right, sharing about what their ecosystem is about. Okay, so that was also the very day, right, that we have officially launched our mining machine, our mining server. And up to this point, right, we are still in our pre-sale phase. So definitely this is a fantastic opportunity for you to start, right, or even, right, just get at least one mining machine, right. This will be very, very, right, produce a lot of bots for you, right, the mid-long run. Okay, so what is the correlation between bot and Cary Pact? So in fact, Cary Pact, as what I've mentioned, right, is the very first project that was incubated on bot chain. Okay, so it's not just any ecosystem, right? Within this ecosystem, there is also an academy and a reward system tagged to this entire ecosystem. Okay, so I would say this Cary Pact itself, right, was actually the catalyst of bringing where bot chain is, right, to this point, right? Because if bot chain does not have any project to start off with, right, there's no statistics to show, right? There's no success case, there's no use case. So in fact, because of Cary Pact, right, a lot of projects, they started inquiring on bot chain, right, because it has managed to create such a wonderful global consensus and also garner such a fantastic, right, start off statistics for the chain itself, right, in terms of transaction fees, in terms of wallets. So all these are crucial, right, to constantly bring us to the next level and onwards. Okay. Yeah, so I see some questions in the Zoom chat. So let me answer the questions maybe at the end of the session. Thank you for your understanding. Okay, so let's understand a bit further on how the CA, okay, in short, we call it CA, how the CA ecosystem works. Okay, so for CA, the native token is called CaryPact token, okay, CA. Okay, so the total supply of CA is actually 210 million. And this 210 million will be segregated into two portions. 10 million allocated to swap, and 200 million will be locked up in a mining pool. Okay, so this mining pool itself, it is, sorry. Okay, this mining pool itself is being locked up. So every single day, there will only be 40,000 tokens being emitted out of the lock pool. So imagine, lock pool, 200 million, every day, 40,000. Every 2 years, right, there is a decrease in the emission of 10%. So first and second year, it will be 40,000 each day. Third and fourth year, it will all be 36,000, right? Reduced by 10%, so on and so forth. So if you do a calculation, the full emission cycle will take 22 years. Right? So you see the vision of Johnson, the vision of Mr. Johnson is all more than 20 years. Right? For bot is 25 years, for CA, it will be 22 years. Right? And let's understand a bit further on how the 40,000 will be further split into, right? So out of the 40,000, 42% of that will be issued to our computing power mining, right? That's also on hash rate, right? In fact, this is more like a cloud mining, no physical device needed. The second portion will be 18% to POS output. Okay, POS in short is called, or should I say the long form is called proof of stake. Okay, proof of stake. So proof of stake is when you are staking a certain amount of assets within the staking pool, you'll be able to receive daily yield. Right, daily yield also meaning interest. Okay, so that already puts us at 60%. These two will form up to be your passive income as well. So remember, we have three potential passive income. One is on mining machine. Second will be on this CA hash rate or computer mining power. And third will be on staking. Right, these three potentially able to bring you passive income on a daily basis. Right, and next we have 35%, which will be issued to active reward pool, right, for community builders, right? If you are introducing someone else, right, to be part of a community, right, you are potentially able to make up to 35% of these rewards. And 3% will be allocated to DAO. Okay, DAO will be shared amongst members of certain ranking, like for example, V7 to V10. And last but not least, we have 2% which will be given to foundation. Okay, foundation, in fact, it is the project owner itself. Okay, so in this case, CaryPact, okay, only takes 2% of the entire emission. So if you look at the entire emission, right, 98% actually goes out to the members and the builders, right? CaryPact only takes 2% of the entire emission. So it's very different from some of the other ecosystems out there, whereby some even owns majority of their token, 51%, 60%, right? We have seen it all. Okay, so this is a key differential point, right? So in fact, right, the community has the power, okay, over here with CaryPact. Okay, so let's understand a bit further about the second product, okay, whereby is CA hash rate or CA computer mining. Okay, so this in fact works in a way, right, whereby the entire logic is the more hash rate you have, the more rewards you're able to earn on a daily basis. Okay, so the base conversion or the base ratio, it is 1 USDT to 1 hash rate unit. Okay, 1 USDT to 1 hash rate unit. Okay, so we have also a hash rate compensation mechanism, meaning, right, the later that you purchase this product, okay, the later that you purchase any amount of hash rate unit, you receive even more hash rate, okay, to compensate you on the time, in a sense, the time gap, okay, the time gap. So for now, right, if you were to, I mean, you do not need to do current calculation, you can simply go to your CaryPact the app, and you can see, right, if you key in a certain amount of USDT, you can see how much hash rate you're able to receive. So as of now, I believe it's nearing, okay, nearing 6 times, nearing 6 times. So for the very same USDT you put in, right, you are able to receive almost 6 hash rate units. Okay, this is huge. This is a huge differential point of our product. Okay, so imagine this, right? Based on statistics, right, per month, right, this compensation actually increases by around 1 times. So next month, maybe around 7 times. So following month, 8 times, 9 times, so on and so forth. So the later you purchase, the more multiplier you can get in terms of hash rate units. So the whole concept is on your personal hash rate, right, divided by the entire network hash rate, right, is the same for any hash rate calculation, right, is to understand how much of a market share that you have. Okay, so let's just say if you have 10,000 in hash rate personal, divided by the total network hash rate, let's say 100 million, right, multiply by the total allocated emission, 16,800, right, remember 42% of 40,000, right, this is on daily basis. So this formula, right, gives you the amount that you're able to receive on a daily basis, right? And another key point to this is that there is a no exit mechanism, meaning, right, whatever amount you are putting in for the hash rate unit, right, there's no withdrawal of the assets per se or the entire capital per se, but in exchange, right, you are able to receive emission of CA from this product itself for the entirety of the 22 years. So this is really a long-term product for you to diversify your portfolio with. Okay, so by understanding this formula, if you do not increase your personal hash rate and the total network hash rate is constantly increasing, right, that will of course reduce your daily rewards from hash rate itself. Okay, you'll be on a reducing level. Okay, so how can we constantly level our returns, or if not increase our daily returns? Right, we have 3 different options. Okay, first is that you can always add on more hash rate. Second is when the CA pricing increases, right, that will increase your output value. And number 3, right, out of the amount that you receive from hash rate, right, every CA amount you receive from hash rate every day, you are able to participate in our third product, which is on staking POS. So this staking, right, is very simple to understand, right? Stake any amount of assets, right? It will be working for you over time, right? It will be helping you to compound your portfolio on a daily basis. Okay, it's on a compounding basis. So as long you leave it inside the staking pool, it will compound constantly every single day. Okay, so how does this staking model work? Okay, in fact, we have a flexible daily yield rate. Okay, flexible daily yield, meaning the interest rate, right, you're able to have, okay, when you participate in our flexible option. Okay, so let me do a check live and see what is our current daily staking yield. By the way, the range is usually around 0.15 to 0.3%. Okay, so as of today, right, our flexible daily yield rate, it is at 0.22%. Okay, meaning if you were to consider, right, other options of staking like 30 days to 360 days, right, there is a multiplier effect, okay, based on each option. So if you to stake 30 days, there will be a 1.3 times of the daily flexible yield rate, okay, and you can go up to 360 days, right, 2.5 times of the daily flexible yield, so meaning 0.22% multiplied by 2.5 times. So this will give you 0.55% on a compounding basis. So this will in fact bring you a bigger, higher return, right, in the long run, right, as your assets continuously compound with a higher daily yield. Okay, so out of the staking, right, if you were to do any kind of withdrawal, there will be a 24-hour settlement period. Meaning if you today you withdraw, right, the following day, same time, you will be able to receive your withdrawn amount. Okay, but if you do not withdraw anything, right, it is always constantly compounding for you. Okay, so this is a very simple example, right? If let's just say based on the parameters of you are participating the staking pool with 10,000 USDT at the price of $33 per CA, okay, and at a rate, okay, at a flexible daily yield rate of 0.2%, and also, right, the CA pricing to grow on average per day 0.2%. Okay, that will give you, right, let's look at the 360 days option, which is the most popular as of now. Okay, so 0.2% multiplied by a 2.5 times, that will give you 0.5% daily yield. Okay, so if you were to keep the entirety of this capital plus a daily yield for the entirety of the 360 days, right, it will compound and you will likely receive roughly 6 to 7 times of the quantity of your CAs. Quantity of the CAs. So if you started at 300, for example, right, you'll be getting 1,800, 6 times. Okay, but of course, right, to include the increase of CA pricing, right, if let's just say based on the trajectory of 0.2% a day, right, your overall portfolio value by 360 days will be roughly around $123,000, right? Mind you, this is based on a $10,000 investment or $10,000 staking. So that's 12 times of returns. Right, this is definitely a very good way for you to also, right, diversify your assets on. Okay, but let's paint you a different scenario. If the price of CA did not increase at all by the end of 360 days, right, you are still able to earn 6 to 7 times, right, because the quantity of CA has grown so much, right, by the end of 360 days. Okay, so this, right, we also have an Excel sheet, right, that you're able to calculate your returns based on. Okay, so potentially how much you're able to get by 30 days, by any set amount of time, right, you're able to see and you're able to have a clearer picture of potentially how much you're able to earn. Oh yes, one more important point, right, there is a strong, unique factor that we provide, okay, compared to a lot of other staking options out there in the market. Okay, a lot of staking options out there, right, they are, or should I say, they will only be able to receive their entire principal or capital by the end of the staking period. Does it sound familiar? Meaning, if you stake for 360 days, you will only see your principal amount back at the end of 360 days, okay, upon maturity of a contract. Okay, but over here, we are doing it differently. Right, every single day, there will be a fraction of your principal being released back to you. So you're able to withdraw. No problem. Right? If you have stake for 360 days, you have already gotten back half of your principal amount. Okay, potentially, right, if you withdraw. But of course, if you did not withdraw, right, it will compound over time to get you 6 to 7 times of the units, ACA units. Okay, so this is a very important point, right? So some members ask me, Andrew, how can this ecosystem pay me for my compounded daily yield? Okay, so this in fact comes from, right? So we have different pools, different wallets, right, being planned out within our ecosystem structure. So one of the very important wallets or pool will be called B pool. B pool. Okay, B pool is a staking reward pool. Staking reward pool. So as of today, right, maybe let me go to the website and show all of you. Okay, I just want to share very quickly on the current liquidity within this staking reward pool, or should I say B wallet. Okay, so let's just say I do a refresh over here. Okay, very simply, right, this is our Explorer. This is our Explorer. So you can just simply copy and paste the contract address or the contract address. And you see, now we have more than 1.6, almost nearing 1.69 million CA within just this B pool itself. So if you ask me whether you are able to receive your rewards, right, potentially, of course, right, because there is such a sizable amount of liquidity to share amongst, right, our global members, right, for your rewards itself. So based on the price of $27, for example, right, we have a liquidity of over 45 million. It's just in our staking reward pool alone. So for your members, okay, your people, okay, if you share with them, right, definitely show them this liquidity pool. That will give them way more confidence to participate in our staking program. All right, let us head right back. Okay, so what or how, right, continuously this B pool can be replenished in terms of CA, right? We have 5 different sources of income, or should I say inflow, okay, into the B pool, okay, constantly every single day, okay, especially, right, from the entire emission of 40,000. Okay, remember there is a 18% allocation, right? So every single day, right, 7,200 CA will be put into the B pool. Second will be from the active rewards, right? The active rewards is 35%, correct? So out of the 14,000 CA, if there were any surplus not given for the day, right, it will reflow back into this B pool. And third, right, if members were to swap CA to BOT, there will be a slippage fee, or maybe you call it withdrawal fee, that's also fine. So 5%, out of which 1.8% will be reflown back into this B pool. And number four, right, we have recently introduced a circuit breaker protection. Okay, meaning, right, when the prices of CA were to drop, okay, maybe more than 5% within the 24 hours time frame, right, the slippage fee actually increases, right, from 5% to 10%, right? If it drops again, additional 5%, right? So all the way can potentially go up to a maximum of 20% in slippage, right? Later on, I'll go through the mechanism of this circuit breaker. So the extra slippage fee, right, that the platform earns, okay, this will also reflow back into the B pool. And last but not least, right, when the prices of CA goes down, okay, and if there were any scenario where our treasury kicks in to purchase up the CA prices, get back to stability, right, the excess CA will also reflow back into this B pool. So you can see there will always be constant flow of CAs as liquidity into this reward pool itself. Okay, so this is how the circuit breaker works. Okay, maybe we can focus on the mechanism portion, okay, on the top, on the bottom right. So if let's just say the 5% drop, okay, all this happened within the 24 hours time frame, if, for example, it dropped by 3 times, okay, 5%, 5%, 5%, okay, hypothetically, okay, the slippage from 5% will be increased to maximum of 20%. Okay, every 5% drop in pricing, okay, there'll be a 5% increase of slippage. This actually discourages, okay, people to sell CA continuously in bulk to bring the prices down, right? Because we all know, right, sometimes there will be people who want to sabotage on the prices as well. Okay, maybe not just on legitimate sellers, but some people will want to sabotage on the prices of the projects. Okay, so if this happens, right, the slippage will increase, and it will take, right, every 3 days, right, it will of course recover back to its norm of 5%, or but to the default 5%, but it will take around, right, every 3 days it will decrease by 1%. So if the slippage increases to 20%, right, it will take around 45 days for the slippage from 20% to recover back to 5%. Right, so all these are a protection mechanism. Okay, so whatever I touched on, they are on the passive rewards and the mechanism of how the prices of C and BOT will continuously go up. Ready for the... Yes, Kit, thank you. Okay, so now let me go through on the 4 active rewards. So for community builders, right, you are staying to the last moment, right? Of course, maybe most of you are also here to find out what are the latest addition, right, to our active rewards. Okay, so over here we have 4 active income. 4 active income. So the very first will be, yes, FSW, you are absolutely right. Thank you. Thank you for that. Okay, so the very first active reward, okay, focusing on row number 2, okay, team rewards. Team reward. Okay, team reward, it is based on your personal sub-community hash rate, okay, divided by the total global sub-community hash rate. Okay, this of course is for the CA hash rate. Okay, if your community purchases hash rate units, right, this will be based on that. Okay, so what is sub-community? Sub-community essentially is like one of a community. Okay, so you can have multiple communities or teams. Okay, so in fact, our reward system is structured in a way like a uni-level. Okay, uni-level system. It is a uni-level system whereby you can have as many direct referrals. Okay, you can have as many direct referrals. But if you were to have only 3, for example, right, if you have 3 communities, and if the first community has a volume of 10,000, second community has a volume of 8,000, third community has a volume of 6,000. Okay, how does this subcommittee be calculated based on? Okay, the system will ignore your biggest committee. Okay, so they'll ignore 10,000, but they will add the rest of the committee volumes together. So in this case, if you have 3, right, they'll ignore 10,000, they'll add 8 and 6,000 together. That will give you 14,000 in volume. Okay, so in hash rate wise, it's also the same. It will be basing on your sub-community hash rate in total, divided by the global sub-community hash rate, right? So you see, the whole idea is always on what is your market share, right, amongst the, or out of the 7,000 CA, right? How much are you able to be distributed? Okay, so where does the 7,000 CA come from? Okay, so out of the entire emission, 40,000 a day, right, 35% will be allocated to this active reward pool. Okay, that will be 14,000 CA. Okay, 14,000 will be split into 2, 7,000 given to team rewards, and the remaining 7,000 will be allocated to our VIP level rewards. Okay, this in fact is very powerful system whereby you're able to promote up the ranks from V1 all the way to V10. Okay, so there are 2 qualifying criteria for you to promote. First will be based on your personal volume. Your personal volume, right? If you have purchased any kind of product, right, what's the entire volume like? So what does it include? It includes the hash rate that you purchase, CA hash rate. It includes the mining machine that you purchase, and also last but not least, includes the 360 days staking only. Okay, so a personal, it only includes 360 staking. The rest of the option will not be considered as your personal volume. Okay, so the second requirement is based on your sub-community volume. Okay, and this includes all of our products. Okay, hash rate, C hash rate, mining machine, as well as all the 5 options of staking. Even if your community stakes at a flexible option, it will also be part of your entire volume. Okay, isn't that wonderful? Okay, so the chances of you promoting to the next rank and next rank and next rank will be way higher. Right, so as and when we introduce new products, right, of course, your volume will also increase accordingly. Okay, so the entire idea is to build your pipeline, is to build a community. The bigger, the better, right? The faster, the better. Okay, so to promote, right? So from V1 to V2, okay, for 500, you just have to top up an additional 500 to make it 1,000, right? You do not have to put in another 1,000 to promote. But if, for example, you have purchased one mining machine at the rate of 3,000, okay, just based on your personal volume, it will already entitle you to go to V5. Of course, the second criteria will be on a sub-committee volume, right, which has a need of 500,000. Okay, so how does the distribution of 7,000 work? Okay, this will be based on a weightage system. So weightage, you can just take it to like a point system. Okay, in simple fact, it's like a point system. So it's always on 2 components within the weightage system. First component is on your personal ranking. Okay, so each ranking provides a base weightage. So if you look at V4, for example, V4 base weightage is 10.6. 10.6. So another component will be a time bonus. Okay, so time bonus, very similar to like our compensation hash. The later that you promote, the more time bonus you are able to receive. Interesting, right? The later that you promote to any rank, the more time bonus you are able to receive. That means your overall personal weightage, right, will be higher. So base weightage multiplied by time bonus, that gives you your personal weightage. So by knowing your personal weightage, right, you have to divide it by the total network weightage. Okay, similar to how you calculate for hash rate, right? Personal divided by global, multiply by 7,000 CA. That will give you the estimated returns that you're able to receive on a daily basis, right? So all these are just sharing with you the logic of our payout systems, but of course you do not have to do any calculation. Okay, all these you're able to see on your back-end accounts, your own accounts. Okay, so by knowing these 2 reward system, okay, by knowing how the ranking works now, okay, coming down to the remaining 2 reward system, which is very interesting. So let's look at the first, okay, VIP computing power rewards. Okay, this in fact is a differential rewards of 6 to 30%. Okay, this applies to your community purchasing mining machine and your community purchasing CA hash rate unit. Okay, so you are able to receive, okay, based on your ranking, so giving you 2 scenarios. Okay, first scenario, okay, of course, if you are still at V4, V4 will give you up to 16% of rewards. But with that being said, okay, this is a differential income, so you must be of a higher ranking, okay, to be able to receive rewards from your particular community. So give you an example, if you are V4 and you do not have any other rankings below you, let's just say the immediate person or somewhere down the line, right, is all V0, okay, or basic member. Okay, if that person purchases 10,000, okay, worth of hash rate unit, or should I say maybe 10,000 worth of mining machine, okay, you are able to earn 16% of that, which is $1,600. And this will be paid out in USDT. Okay, this will be paid out in USDT. This is a very sizable reward that you're able to receive. Okay, but of course, when a community gets bigger, maybe if you have someone else in between that's of maybe intermediate rank, let's say V2, you V4, There's a V2, and the person who's a basic member purchases the product. Okay, so the V2 will earn a differential reward of 10%, right? That's the entitlement. And for you, you are earning 16 minus 10, which is 6%. So it's still a good thing, right? You earn $600, right? The person of V2 caliber, they earn $1,000, right? And you're earning this, right? In a sense, passively. Okay, as and when there's a product sale, right? You can earn it. Okay, so this is a one-time payout. Okay, one-time payout. And this will be paid to you the following day, okay? Because it takes 24 hours for everything to be accounted and accumulated, okay, and it will be paid out to you the following day. Okay, now let's look at the last reward that you're able to earn from. Okay, on the third row, staking VIP level rewards. Okay, this in fact is also a differential income, meaning you must be of a higher rank. Okay, if it's the same rank or below, you're not able to earn from that particular committee. Okay, because if you are also earning that certain percentage, it's more like an overpay. Okay, so this is a differential. Okay, so give you an example. Okay, same example. If you are V4, 16%, V2, 10%, right? Someone below, basic member, stake maybe 100 CA. Okay, 100 CA, because staking is in CA, right? CA token. So you are able to earn 6% of the daily yield generated from this 100 CA on a daily basis. And mind you, this you're able to earn on a daily basis as long as the stake is still actively running. Okay, so there's a huge potential to this because, right, as their overall CA is compounding over time, your rewards will also increase over time, as well as your VIP volume for your community. Okay, so you can see, going back to your volume, right, this is very interesting because on your community volume, okay, this, right, for hash rate and CA hash rate, okay, for mining machine and CA hash rate, it is more like a fixed amount. Okay, but for staking is a variable volume. Because as and when you have more and more people staking, right, your volume will grow exponentially, right? And even if the price of CA increases, your volume will also increase. But of course, if there's anyone who starts to withdraw, right, your volume will decrease, right? Because it's a variable. Okay, so yes, I see someone raising your hand. Do you have a question? Can we leave the questions to the back of the session? Thank you. Okay, so let's look at an example on the potential of just this staking income alone. If hypothetically you have $1 million in your entire community, okay, this is based on entire community, 1 million CA, if it's stake, right, based on everyone staking 360 days, for example, okay, that will be a 0.5% daily yield. Okay, remember, we are earning the differential rewards based on the daily yield generated. Okay, so based on the million, right, 0.5%, which will be 5,000 CA, which your entire community is making for the daily yield. And you, if your average differential income is of a 10%, right, you'll be making 500 CA every single day. Increasing, okay, increasing. Also, let's look at 500. Okay, 500 based on the price of $33, that will give you a value, right, of $16,500. And this is not on a monthly basis. It's also not on a weekly basis. It's based on daily, right? So this gives you potential, right, to earn even $500,000 a month. $500,000. And this is just based on one income. But of course, right, looking at another scenario, what if your community only has 100,000, right? Just 10% of this. Just 10%. 100,000 CA on the exact scenario, you are still able to earn $1,650 potentially every single day. Now, talking about life changing, right? This is $50,000 a month. Right, so definitely it's a very good active income. So do not wait, right? Start building the amount of CAs within your community, right? Stakes. Okay, so to summarize everything, right, of course, we created a win-win-win situation or ecosystem whereby, right, not just for the investors, but for the community promoters like yourselves, like builders, and even for project owners, you are also able to be involved, right, with our entire structure, and how we are able to structure, how we are able to constantly have burning and increase on the token value over time. Okay, so each category of people, right, of course, you will be able to leverage and have different advantages, right, as you participate in our ecosystem. Okay, so all in all, right, the correlation between CA and BOT, right, first and foremost, right, we can actually share the same liquidity pool. So when CA is doing very well, right, BOT will also do well. When BOT do well, CA will also do well. So it comes hand in hand. Okay, and also, right, in terms of burning, right, both CA and BOT has burning mechanisms. So the total supply will only decrease over time, right? So we always talk about demand and supply, correct? So when the demand is always increasing, more and more people adopting, right, adopting and utilizing CA or BOT, as the total supply constantly decreases, right, they will create more demand, and the token prices will increase. Okay, so with the emission cycle of such a long time, right, 22 and 25 years, right, that will create a very long-term consensus globally. Okay, so we do have 6 competing modes, but I believe today we are kind of out of time. So let me go through on the current promotion that's ongoing. Okay, so this is only for all on-site events. Okay, meaning if you have some physical events, business presentations, or training sessions held locally, maybe in your region, right? If you have attended them, right, you are able to participate in this. So as long as you purchase hash rate units of CA, 360 days in staking, or mining machines, right, within this period of time of 16 August to 31st of August, right, if the amount in the single stake or single purchase is at least $2,000, right, you'll be able to apply for a 2 CA airdrop. 2 CA. That's almost $60. Okay, so if you participate in $5,000, right, that's 7 CA, and 10,000 will be 15 CA. Okay, 10,000, let's just say in a single stake, that will be 15 CA. Okay, let's just say at the price of $28, that will be $420 worth of rewards. Right, and bear in mind, this is only for offline events, okay, in person. Right, so thank you everyone for being here today, right? I hope I have painted a very, very clear picture on where we are going and potentially how you're able to make in terms of rewards, in terms of not just rewards, but passive or active rewards. Okay, so let me take some questions. And I believe, yes, so we have Tijani, Amos. Okay, Amos, you've asked, what is the possibility of emission of 20,000 watts a day for 25 years? Yes, so the emission will work in a way like similar to CA. So the emission will decrease by 10% every 2 years. Okay, every 2 years. So first and second year, 20,000 a day. So for initial miners, right, you will definitely reap the biggest rewards in the first 2 years because you're earning so many more bots, right, out of the entire emission. Okay, the emission cycle will still be 25 years, no change. Okay, so that is, okay, so out of the entire BOT emission, right, there will also be segregations to staking pool. So in the future, after the emission starts, okay, there will also be potential of having POS, okay, staking for bots. How many machines can we have? Okay, you can purchase as many. So as I already showed you just now, you can either purchase just one mining machine, or you can purchase in packages of 18 or 90. Okay, so you yourself, I mean, you can have as many as you want. And all these mining machines, right, you're able to house in 1 minute. Okay, let me go back to the mining machine. Okay, so let me emphasize again.